I remember he had, I don't know if it was a tryout match or it was his first match, but you know, the guy comes down and he's got that giant bison head, which, and now as a kid now, I was a huge Moose Chodlak fan growing up in Sheik's territory, and we had Moose Chodlak who had the moose head, so I kind of got the correlation. And I remember that I want to think it was a dark match or tryout. I don't know why he was working with Scott. I know it didn't air, so. But he takes that hat off, that big head, and sits and turns around, and Scott just smacks him with an open hand as hard as you can possibly smack a human being. And you're talking about.
Kind of killed that opening.
I mean, we're just like, we're just sitting there at the monitor, we're just going. Oh, like.
How did he get in the ring with the head? Could he get through the ropes?
It was
before he got in.
It was. Then remember he carried it. Shortly after he figured out he really couldn't get in, it was like the Vader thing. Remember when Vader would actually carry the
gear? Yeah,
they'd lay it down and it would shoot steam,
yep.
Which I thought was effective. I remember when WCW ran those whole things, they showed like that, you know, and the crowd was below him, and he looked like this big giant guy, and it was just like, oh my God, this guy's coming, this is going to be great. And they showed up, and he went, okay.
Talk to me about Matt and Jeff as enhancement talent at the time. Did you take notice of them, or?
Jeff was. I don't even know if Jeff was of legal age the first time I met him, and it was like in White Plains or something like that. And at the time, he had a haircut like Vanilla Ice, and we used to call him Vanilla Ice.
Uh-huh.
And but Scott would always handpick him to work his matches with, because he was good, and Scott would always give him stuff, and it would drive Vince crazy. Because you know it was just chopped meat. You never gave the enhancement guy anything.
Right.
Scott would always give him something. Scott would, we'd take a drop kick, and Scott would bump.
Well, it's kind of nice of Scott.
Scott knew talent. I mean,
Yeah.
Scott, Scott would always say, "This kid's special. This kid's special. This kid's special," and he was, and is. Scott always tells the story about when he was breaking in and he worked with Zbyszko, and like Scott was like the big jacked up dude and those days a big jacked up dude came into a territory, nobody wanted to help him out because that was just, especially a big good looking guy like him, he's going to take your spot. He's going to take somebody's spot. Mm-hmm. He's physically, you always see that great working punch. And people just, and he had a match with Zbyszko on TV, and Larry just kind of blew him off during the day. And he's greenhorn, he's wanting to, sit and talk about it. And they went out there, and Larry went through with him. Larry went 10 minutes through. And, it just kind of made Scott. And he was just like, why would this guy do that? But then he found out later on, Larry saw something in him. I think Larry and Scott have been friends to this day because of that.
Wow.
Like, you never forget the guy that kind of goes out of his way to do something for you. And, and Larry's always been a class act.